You are looking at downtown Westminster, Main Street, right here by Pennsylvania Avenue. And here we go with a beautiful Memorial Day Monday morning for our Memorial Day Parade 2023. Hi there, Bruce Main here to call the parade action alongside Commander of Carroll Post 31, Richard Stem Jr. And Stemmy, it's great working with you again this year for the great-looking parade that's shaping up nicely. And the weather gods have certainly smiled upon us for this Memorial Day.
It's good to be working with you again, Bruce.
Well, we just had our Carroll Post 31 American Legion riders, Larry Solarchik, and the team riding on by, a police car, motorcycle coming on past, and Carroll Post 31 American Legion Color Guard, led by Matt Schatzer. And that's coming on through as we will be speaking, as they're handing out flags along the way. And that's what the riders have been doing all up and down the parade route as they head through downtown Westminster. And it is a good-looking crowd out here early this morning, Stemmy. And right there at Pennsylvania Avenue, right at the Forks, right there by the monument, and getting ready for getting this parade action underway.
Yes, you're right. And then we got a lot of nice people sitting along the roads here watching, and also nice weather.
Absolutely right. Originally forecasted for maybe some rain along the way today, but it has turned out to be one beautiful, one magnificent morning for this parade. And the riders continue on the route coming down from Pennsylvania, and they're stopping, they're waving, and just acknowledging the crowd that filled in here very early this morning and continues to fill in. Plenty of room for everybody, but this has really turned out to be one magnificent crowd on this magnificent morning. There are the waves and the cyclists coming on by. I see a few tricycles coming on through. I haven't been on a tricycle like that ever in my lifetime. But here we go, and nice to see everybody out here this morning. Stemmy, it looks to me as if this is going to be, again, a magnificent event to celebrate Memorial Day, a day of remembrance and a day of thank yous and a day of thankfulness for those men and women over the hundreds of years who've given the ultimate sacrifice so that we can enjoy these freedoms and these liberties to this very day.
That's correct, and also it's got a lot more folks out here this year in the parade because COVID let us down a couple of years ago.
That's
but
right.
Now we're back up to the normal parade, I believe. We're going to have a long parade and a lot of folks in it.
All right, now there goes a trike on by, and a rather interesting a little addition to the back of the trike. There's a little poochie, a little puppy, riding along in the, I like to call that a rumble seat. I guess if anybody remembers what they are. But, yep, we've got the dog out there right along with the cycle. So there you go. And, along with Carroll Post 31, the American Legion, I personally, Bruce Main, I want to thank you very much. Adrian Gamboa, the wonderful team at the Carroll Post 31 of the American Legion for having me as part of this again this year.
Yes, we try to work together as a team, get things done. And I think this year we've got a spectacular parade for you. So, again, thanks to Adrian for this.
Well, you know, Stemmy, like you touched on, the past couple of years, the COVID thing really put a lot of changes and a lot of plans for practically all of us at one point. But it's so great to see now a sense of normalcy back to everything, including this magnificent event here today, as now the cyclists will continue on as they head down toward the other side of Main Street and on their way to the parade route. And again, there are so many different exhibitors coming down and parade participants, and we'll be mentioning those along the way. A little bit later on at the conclusion of the parade, I'm doing a bit of double duty here today. I will be at the Sermon at the Mount at the Westminster Cemetery that I have hosted. I have emceed this beautiful, reflective, and very solemn, but still at the same time a celebrative event up at the Westminster Cemetery. I'm pleased and proud to be part of that. And I must take time to thank our good friends at Community Media Center, Richard Turner, Bob Blueball, and the group here and the wonderful team we have out here, the technicians putting all of these pictures together here for you this morning. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen of Community Media Center, thank you so very, very much for all you do for us here.
And they also keep us straight, Bruce.
Oh, yeah, they're saying, shh, we're getting ready, we're getting ready, we're getting ready, we're getting ready, and that's what it's all about.
Yes.
And as we take a look at all the kids, all the people, and they're waving their flags, the flags were passed out and handed out along the parade route earlier on by the American Legion, I might say,
correct.
American Legion riders, Larry Solorchek and the group doing that as they kicked off the parade action here this morning. Plenty of action coming your way right here on CMC. I'm Bruce Main along with Stemmy, Richard Stem Jr., Carroll Post 31 Commander. So I should in protocol, I guess, call you Commander.
Nah, that's okay.
No, okay.
Everybody calls me Stemmy, so you can call me Stemmy, Bruce.
I like to keep it proper.
That's good.
And on the
Stemmy.
way, the color guard with Matt Schatzer with the color guard, and also Parade Marshal Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hollingsworth.
Yes.
And Ron, a longtime member, U.S. Army retired, a veteran of the Vietnam War, recipient of 2 Purple Hearts, the Parade Marshal, as the parade will continue here very shortly as they get ready to bring more of the parade action here on board and here for us as we head through this beautiful morning together. And here again, they were saying, forecasting, it's we could be in for a bit of a rainy time, and, like I say, hey, look, it's a beautiful, bright day. Still, plenty of room to come on out. You cannot travel. Main Street now blocked down for all intents and purposes. Yep, you cannot get out onto Main Street, obviously, because of the parade route. But there's still plenty of room, plenty of time to come on out and enjoy this parade action. So if you're a little bit apprehensive about the weather, you don't have to be now, because it has really turned out great. So far, so good, Stemmy.
Yeah, and I can see some blue sky up there.
Plenty of it. Yep.
And the sun's trying to get out, but I don't know if it will. But the blue sky looks beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good looking earlier sunrise this morning, because I was looking out. I was looking out my window, and I was going, geez, I'm looking at some cloudiness going on out here. And all of a sudden, bang, here came the sun coming right through the clouds. And I'm going, thank you for this very wonderful event that we have going on as we do as tradition every Memorial Day, and a long time tradition for the Westminster Memorial Day Parade. This goes back a long time, Stemmy.
That's correct. This is the 156th Memorial Day Parade for Westminster, and we enjoy it. We enjoy putting it on, and it's really fun for me. I think it's a great opportunity for people to come out and see what's going on.
It certainly is. And, I've always said Memorial Day shouldn't be limited to just one day out of the year where we do the remembrance. It should be happening every year to thank and to remember those who did the ultimate, putting their lives on the line, and so many who did sacrifice for us. Well, and now we're taking a look at the color guard. The American Legion Carroll Post 31 color guard coming our way. Matt Schatzer and group there with the guard. And
looking good.
Yep.
Looking good.
Very nicely done there, Stemmy. Doing the salute. Yeah, when you see the parade flags, standing and saluting. And that is absolutely wonderful. On the way, Parade Marshal Ron Hollingsworth, Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hollingsworth. Vietnam War vet. Here he comes now in front of the Corvettes, or a Corvette, a blue Corvette that should have a Grand Marshal, Junior Fisher of Carroll Post 31. But we have Lieutenant Colonel Hollingsworth, veteran of the Vietnam War, recipient of 2 Purple Hearts. And he is right here and making his way down, marching along with the parade here this morning as the parade marshal, and a good-looking blue Corvette right behind him.
Driven by Brian Griffin. Oh, Brian.
Well, there you go.
Ron,
all right.
Let me tell you, Colonel Ron comes into Legion just about every day. He's a pretty regular customer in there, so.
All right, as we wait for the next event, we would like to take an opportunity here for special thanks because you and I, Stemmy, are right here at the Carroll County, the Arts Council, the County Arts Council, the Carroll Arts Council, and we thank them so very, very much for their wonderful hospitality, as they always do, for hosting this community media center coverage right here along Main Street, here down from the Forks from Pennsylvania. And we want to thank the Carroll County Arts Council, enriching our community both culturally and economically by presenting and promoting, supporting a wide variety. They do it oh so well, and they do a great variety of arts opportunities for residents, visitors, artists, students. They do it all for everybody over a wide spectrum of great entertainment with the Carroll Arts Council, and we thank them so very, very much for their wonderful hospitality here this morning, Stemmy.
And they put on a lot of activity here at the Carroll Arts Theater.
They
so
do.
If you haven't had a chance to look at their internet, you ought to get on there and look. And just another thing about I want to say before we get out of the way here, Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hollingsworth, he walks in the parade every year, Bruce.
Yes, he does.
Every year. No matter how hot, cold, rain, what, Bruce, he walks every year in this parade.
In full decorum, in full uniform.
That's correct.
And that is absolutely wonderful. All right, the parade grand marshal should be coming on by. That would be Junior Fisher of the American Legion, our Carroll Post 31 right here in Westminster. And I'm hearing the magnificent Westminster Municipal Band in the background under the direction of Sandy Miller, a band that has been with us here in this community and here around Carroll County for many, many years. In fact, I can still remember that green panel truck.
Hello, Junior.
Yeah. Oh, there's Junior. Yeah, there he is. How are you? Good to see you, Grand Marshal, Honorary Grand Marshal. There he is. Isn't that great?
Corvette's decorated nice.
But the Westminster Municipal Band and the green panel truck, like I was telling you about, Stemmy, coming down the street right here. And this band has performed everywhere, all around our state, not only in this region, but statewide and beyond. And you talk about pomp, circumstance, and precision. That's what they do. And they do it so well under the direction of Sandy Miller and others who are the members of the band, including Steve Wentz. We know Steve quite well.
Yes. And the gentleman out front, the young guy, he's going to put the wreath up there at the ceremony where you're going to be up this afternoon.
Right.
He's carrying the flower and the wreath there. Westminster Band's been around a long time, Bruce, hasn't it?
They sure have, and here again, like I said, they continue to this very day to perform everywhere, anywhere, and well representing the city of Westminster, well representing themselves as one of the premier bands around this entire region. And I'm not just talking here in Carroll County, around the Westminster area, but getting statewide recognition and getting recognition all over this entire area, up and down the coast practically.
I think they go to another parade this afternoon, don't they?
Most likely. And here they go. Oh, yeah.
There's Steve Wentz out there.
There he is. Yes, sir.
Pointing at us.
And there is that green panel truck. The 1950s era Chevy panel still in operation, still looking good to this day. Oh my, there it is. The number of times growing up here in this Westminster area that I've seen that truck make its appearance with the band. And here we are with our Common Council members here of Westminster. And I'm talking Greg Pecoraro, Dan Huff, and Gilbert. They're marching right on by. Tony Chiavacci and Kevin Dayhoff. There's Kevin right there. They are veterans. And Kevin Dayhoff also serves as the chaplain for the American Legion, Carroll Post 31.
And also the Westminster Fire Department, Bruce. He's a chaplain down there also.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Here comes our first vice commander, Walt Davis. He's marching in a parade here and holding up the American Legion, part of our group.
And this good looking 1960, let's see, I could tell by the taillights. It's going to be a 60, let's take a look. It's going to be a 66 Plymouth Fury convertible coming on by. And we also have the Corvettes coming on by, some of the Corvettes here. Vice Commander Walt Davis will be along. And also giving us a wave.
A lot of nice looking Corvettes out there.
Oh, yeah, the Corvette Club, that's all, they're always out and about, showing off those beautiful Corvettes, and why not? And, of course, we'll have guest speaker Brigadier General Janine Burkhead of the Maryland National Guard. And she is going to be, in the 2023, confirmed by the Maryland Senate as the 31st Adjutant General of Maryland. And she is going to be very special with us at the Sermon of the Mount as our special speaker. Miss Poppy coming on by. Yeah, there's Miss Poppy giving everybody a wave, including us, and we wave back, of course.
And Miss Poppy is, as soon as I can find her name,
she would be Sharon Smith. Wait.
No.
Jay and Sky Post.
That's it.
There you go. Sharon Smith is the president of the auxiliary and of the American Legion Auxiliary
Right.
of Post 31. And Miss Poppy.
One thing we did forget to say about the Sons of American Legion
Yeah.
are all in a group up there in a pickup truck. They're led by Denny Byers, the commander. So we want to make sure we say about them because they do a lot for the American Legion also.
And a good-looking caddy convertible coming on by from our friends at the VFW Moldville Farm Post 467 here in Westminster.
Bruce, you probably rode in one of those, didn't you?
Once upon a time, I was in a parade down in Baltimore City when I was working down there at the station, and I was in one of those big Cadillac boats, and oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't care who threw water balloons at me. All right, and here we go from the VFW. Now, you talk about a deuce and a half. This is exactly what we have right here. And this is a massive machine showing the military might of the day. And there they go, the Vietnam veterans of VFW Post 467 here in Westminster coming on by, led by Commander Gil Muse, and an ambulance, AMS ambulance coming on by. And a good message on the back of that ambulance. Not only are we celebrating and remembering and thanking those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, but we also have in our prayers those who still are out there somewhere, are missing in action that we shall never forget. Now, the 467 banner was carried by members of Scout Troop 393. Mr. John Price, a World War II veteran, riding in the deuce and a half with the veterans from Carroll County. The VFW Auxiliary of Post 467 with the two convertibles led by Kim Cook, and the auxiliary banner carried by members of Scout Troop 393 on their way. And they're coming right down here in front of us. And that beautiful looking Chevelle convertible. Today's the day they bring the classic cars out.
Yeah, it's a nice looking car there. I wouldn't mind having that. It's a Chevelle, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Chevelle convertible.
Is a Chevelle convertible.
Looking
And
nice.
there you go.
VFW Auxiliary.
Yep, that's right. The auxiliary of VFW Post 467. And that would be Kim Cook, the auxiliary banner carried by members of Scout Troop 393. And here they come now, again, as they come on down through the parade route. and presenting our American flag. And we have the members marching through here too. And right behind them, we're going to see the Disabled American Veterans, the DAV. 2 cars in this parade, led by Nicole Forney. And that will be coming on by, and it looks like they have a whole handful of flags here. It looks like they're going to be handing those out. Yep, one of the young gentlemen over there right now, he's handing flags along the parade route.
That's a good thing so now people can
There
take
you
them
go.
home.
There you go. Exactly. Come on out and enjoy this beautiful parade day and have a flag, a wonderful American flag as a souvenir. The Disabled American Veterans of Chapter 22. And
Old
that's
glory.
Yep, there you go. 1, and there's the second one, giving us a wave.
Yep.
And we always like to acknowledge them back, of course.
And I think the auxiliaries behind them, aren't they, Bruce? The DAV
Well,
auxiliary.
Yes, indeed. Yep, that would be the auxiliary right there coming on through. Troop 1041, they're making their march on through here today. And then we have the 29th Division Association.
There they are.
With the Humvee coming on by. Hello. There you go. 29th Division Association, Jerome L. Day, Post 48. With the Hummer coming on by. And a flat cart, a flat steer, Jeep with trailer, artillery in tow.
And there's Colonel,
Jerome L. Day, Colonel Donald Graff.
That's who I'm looking for.
Yep, exactly. Yep, Donald Graff.
There's some old Jeeps there, aren't they?
That's the old Willies. Yeah, with that mast-mounted artillery.
How'd you like to drive this
and
one around
the
town?
274 military mule and the 53 Willys Jeep. Luke Cassell on the 274 military mule going on by.
I gotta read this.
And what do you have, Demi?
Okay, we got the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Maryland, led by the Grand Master Frederick Spicer. He's in the top hat, Bruce. And the Grand Line Officers. Freemasonry is the oldest fraternal organization in the world. It is dedicated to improving the charter of its members by teaching good citizenship and to care for the less fortunate and to give back to the community. The local lodge, Door to Virtue 46, located on Monroe Street, is led by Master Jason Haffer, joined by his line officers. That's where the parade started at, on the Mason Door of the Virtue 46 on Monroe Street. The Black Plume Hat Grand Marshal is the Grand Commander of Maryland Knights Templar, led by Grand Commander John Austin and his Grand Officers Corps. They are being escorted by the local Carroll Commander 17, led by Commander Michael Robb. Knights Templars trace their origin back to the ancient Christian defenders of pilgrims in the Great Crusades. Their members seek a life of chivalry, duty, and charity. Their mission supports charities such as National Knights Templars, I Foundation, Holy Land Pilgrimages, and education foundations. In the other vehicles that are following that, we have the Order of the Eastern Star, Social Order of Bow Sea Yachts, Job Daughters International, and the Widow's Sons Motorcycle Corps.
Wow.
There you go, Bruce.
Oh, yeah, there you go, and that's what it's all about with the Ancient Free and Accepted Masons and the Door to Virtue, who are well represented out here this morning. More cycles coming on by. We have Friends of Disabled Veterans of Carroll County coming on by, led by Nancy Fields. And there they are coming on through. And we have Haven Shoemaker, Maryland State Delegate, right there, Commissioner Tom Gordon. There he is coming on by and giving us all a wave too. And of course, with any military situation or any military event, you always have the great reenactors who take us back in time and the way it was and the way that, some of us remember and some of us have been learning And here you do have the World War II reenactors, 6 plus 4 or 5 cars led by Mike Swisher. And here come the gentlemen on down now. And Algie Boone, there's Algie Boone on board that Jeep, 97 years young, a veteran of our Second World War. Sterling Beard, 101 years old, in the Navy Jeep coming on by. He was with the Army Air Corps in North Africa. Very tough assignment. And we have the Jeeps coming on by with the World War II reenactors. And it's great to see them out here today. Man, there you go. And the siren. And smoking away on a cigar. There you go. Heart after my own heart. There you go.
George Patton smoked a
There you
cigar,
go. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Stemmy.
Nice vehicles there.
All right, the American Ice Company Cafe here at 62 West Main Street in Westminster. And we'll give them a mention, too, because they're part of it. Ben Shanat. And now you talk about a deuce and a half. Well, I'm going to tell you, Stemmy, we're looking at a big one right here, right now.
You are certainly right. And they got their place out on 140 there if you want to stop by and get
That's
a nice
right.
barbecue sandwich.
That's Bam Bam.
There you go.
Yeah, there's Bam Bam right there, and that is one massive deuce and a half. You talk about, oh, yeah. You don't have to worry about getting stuck in any mud puddles with that.
I wouldn't believe
no,
so.
I don't think so. Not at all. Westminster High School marching band on the way now, Stemmy.
Okay, they're a pretty good band, I'll tell you.
And there you go, the high school marching band, 1 car, 50 band members. Trent Starr, Abby Burke in the lead there with the Westminster High School marching band, the Owls and the Owlettes. Oh yeah, I was one of them.
Oh, you were?
I was never in the marching band, but I was a Westminster Owl.
There you go.
There you go. And you know, they talk about high school athletics, Stemmy, and what it takes to be a high school athlete, but I'm going to tell you one thing. You know, when you have the band out there for these athletic events, in my eyes, in my opinion, they're as much, they can be as much athletic as the athletes on the field.
That is correct.
Yes, because they have to do formations, they have to do discipline, they have to do precision, just like a team, and they are a team. So I put them in high regard right along with the sports teams.
Bruce, it's so nice to be out here this year and see this group. Really, the parade has really grown this year again.
It really has. Now the Westminster High School Army Junior ROTC Falcon Battalion, led by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Livesey, and they're making their way on down. Junior ROTC. And they got a nice appreciative round of applause from the crowd. On my, Stemmy, this crowd is man. I don't know how they keep attendance figures, but I'm going to tell you something. This might be a record setter.
This could be. You never know, but there's a lot of people out here.
Civil Air Patrol Composite Squadron, 25 members, marchers on hand, and a van led by First Lieutenant Bambi Midkiff. And that's who we're seeing coming right in front of us right now. And right behind them, another group of junior ROTCers, Winters Mill High School, Army JROTC, led by Bradley Livesey. Oh, there you go. Pike Creek Civil War Round Table. They have a float in here this morning.
You tell me it's not hot in those uniforms, Bruce.
Oh,
I'll tell
yeah.
you. Give them a lot of credit for marching this parade today.
Oh, you bet. The Winters Mill JROTCers, boy, are they vocal. And there you go. They call it spirit. Nothing wrong with that.
There you go. It's the way it's got to be.
So we'll give it a listen. I think they're singing some old Army songs there, Stemmy.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they're doing something
They're
there.
talking the words. I seem to remember. All right, Pipe Creek Civil War round table with a float, 10 marchers, 1 car, 1 float, Stephen Carney. And that would be they coming right on by the Pipe Creek Civil War round table. 160th anniversary of Corbett's Charge just south of Gettysburg. A lot of people, in history don't realize just how pivotal Carroll County actually was back in the Civil War days with the battle between the states as they were heading up to Gettysburg for the showdown there. Lost Mountain Group. 1 vehicle afloat, canines on leashes coming on by, led by Katie Townsley, co-founder and Maryland partner. Mr. Don Justice of Finksburg, Vietnam veteran, U.S. Army Airborne canine handler, the 47th Scout Dog Platoon, Mr. Justice's dog, a rebel, unfortunately killed in action, as we have the Carroll County Strike Force Junior ROTC Battalion Cadet Corps, Century High School representing here. 50 marchers led by Lieutenant Lee Mitchell and First Sergeant Walter Sataric as they make the march on by here too.
Looking good.
Absolutely. And another great organization, the DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution, the William Winchester chapter led by Kenna Hodge, and primary activities with community service, historical preservation, scholarships for local student and commemorative events coming on by, Stemmy.
Yes, another group with some hot uniforms on there.
Oh, my. You'll warm up in a hurry with that. They give everybody
yes.
a wave. All right, Stemmy, who do we have here? Let's see. That would be
Babylon Vault.
There you go. And they'll be placing wreaths on veterans' graves in Carroll County. They have been doing that. Babylon Vault.
We do that every year. We go out there and do that on December 16th out there at different cemeteries throughout the county, and it's a nice event.
Tammy Ray, she's in the lead there with Babylon Vault. And here we go, the Chesapeake Antique Fire Apparatus Association, Malden Miller in the lead. Nonprofit organization dedicated to the preservation, education, appreciation of all antique fire appliances and all kinds of antique fire equipment that we're seeing right here. There's a name I can't even pronounce.
I'm not trying that either.
Nope,
so.
I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah.
I do know this is Falcon Heights Fire Department coming on by.
Some nice restored antique fire apparatus.
You bet you. The old American LaFrance. There you go. And coming down out of Pennsylvania Way, I believe that's Wellsboro.
That's good,
Yep,
it is.
well.
Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. Engine 113.
There you go, and everybody riding along and singing a song, having a good time. There you go. And we have another one coming on down.
That's Mr. Timmy Bankert. He's a vice president of the Westminster Fire Department. He keeps that thing in pretty good condition. And
Boy, I'll say.
he's in charge of the 200th anniversary for Westminster Fire Department this year. And I think it's, I can't read it on there, but it's October 7th.
Yep, that's it.
2023, 10 a.m. So come
That's
on
right.
out. They're going to be marching down the street again also.
Boy, a lot of maintenance goes into these.
Oh, yes,
you know,
it
to
does.
keep them up to snuff and to keep them looking the way they did back in the day. Here comes an early 60s Violetville Fire Department ambulance. There you go. A good-looking ambulance from our friends over in Violetville making the trip down here this morning.
When I was younger, Bruce, I used to ride as an EMT on them things, that old ambulance.
Wow, I'm telling you. Yep, still looking good to this day. Yep, there's your annual spring fire muster. First Saturday in June at the Pleasant Valley Community Fire Company. They're representing here this morning too, Stammy.
And that's our own Westminster Fire Department's engine that they sold, and this gentleman's keeping it up.
All right, here we go as we have Manchester representing out here this morning with the Manchester Antique Fire Truck. And on the way, Boy Scout Troop 393B, 393G from Grace Lutheran Church right up the street. Yes. I can see, yeah, right there. 30 members are marching. Jeff Barnes, Scoutmaster Troop 393B, and Bill Eccles, Scoutmaster of Troop 393G.
Look at the size of that American flag.
There
Bruce.
you go. That stretches all the way
does.
across the street. It sure does. And we thank them so very, very much for being part of the morning, too. And this wonderful parade that you're enjoying right here on CMC. Bruce Main, along with Stemmy, Richard Stem Jr., Carroll Post 31 Commander, Cub Scout Pack 395, 15 members marching, led by Cub Master Scott Satchel. Cub Scout Pack 420, the St. John's Catholic Church, celebrating over 65 years existence with 30 marchers. Yeah, 1958.
Holy cow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I was a mere pup back then.
I'm not going to comment on that.
St. John's Catholic School will be aboard. Father Mark Bielek and Principal Stephanie Rattel. But right now, as we take a look at Pack 791, Cub Scout Pack 791, out of the Hampstead Way coming on through. So our friends right over in Hampstead making the trip over here to Westminster this morning for this beautiful parade, and we give everybody a bit of a wave, Stemmy.
There we go. We did that.
Yep, that's for sure.
Another Scout Pack coming up here. 631. They're out of Westminster.
Yep, out of the Westminster area. Number 631 coming on through. Waving, boy, that is decorated. Look at that.
Yes,
Look at that trailer float.
Certainly is.
And there they go.
Nice.
So the Cub Scouts here upon us, and another pack from Winfield, right down to wonderful Winfield, southern end of the county, Pack 733. They, too, have a trailer float. And, yep, there they are, too. St. John's, here comes St. John's now. The St. John's Catholic School, Father Mark Bielek, he's up on deck of the Jeep coming on by.
There he is,
yeah,
up there in the open air.
There's Father Mark up there. Stephanie Rattel, she's got the Jeep going there with Father Mark and the group of kids and the parents and the participants from St. John's. Now, very, very shortly, I will be leaving the parade route here, the parade scene, Stemmy. Okay. So you'll be picking up all the action as I head again up to the Westminster Cemetery right around the time when the parade comes to its conclusion for our beautiful, magnificent summit right there at the Mount with our sermon at the Mount.
And also, just before you leave, it's been a great pleasure working with you again this year, Bruce.
My pleasure as always, Stemmy, and thank you so very much for all you do with the Legion Post 31. Carroll County 4-H FFA Fair going by, tractor and wagon led by Jim Weishauer and Bob McAndrew.
And that'll be July 29th to August 4th at the Carroll County Fairgrounds out there.
Always a great time with the great job they do, the 4-Hers and the FFAers, Future Farmers Association. Calvary Baptist Church on the way down with one car, one float, led by Tom Green Jr. Pastor Tim Lehman, Aaron Shipp, pastor, and Pastor Nathan Villanova. With the Calvary Baptist Church, and then they have the Bible Church coming through too. But right now, here comes the Baptist Church presentation. Again, a beautiful day to get out and enjoy and to get out and be part of this magnificent parade here in downtown Westminster. And as I take a peek down the street here, wow. Let's let the music do the talking.
That sounds good. Very nice float.
Very good presentation. Very good presentation from Calvary.
Thank you.
And the Calvary Bible Church now following up. Calvary of Westminster. And they have quite a few marchers, 40 on hand, led by Pastor Gary Mills. Parade moving at a real great pace, Demi.
Yes, it is. Very nice. A lot of entries in here today.
A lot of entries, and it's been put together and coordinated so well, and a lot to see, and a lot to enjoy, and everybody enjoying it. Everybody having a great time. Remember, service and sacrifice. There you go. That's what it's all about. All right, and on the way down, we're looking at Clearfield Bible Church. 15 marchers, 1 float, led by Pastor Ray Newman in charge here and giving a wave.
Guys riding on hay bales there.
Yeah. Now that's a hay ride. There
That's
you go.
correct.
That's a hay ride you
There
can really
you go.
enjoy with the Clearfield Bible Church.
That's a nice float also.
That is the presentation really great. And even taking the pooch out for a walk here this morning. Veterans of Brightview, there you go, the great senior living center, Westminster Ridge. Minibus, led by Vibrant Living Associates Ann Howard and Janet Serio. And they give us a wave as they make their way on through from Brightview Senior Living at Westminster Ridge. Greater Carroll Lions Club. Ryan Staley. Where's Ryan Staley? He's got to be in there, yeah. Scholarship awards, leader dog eyeglasses, and a whole lot more of the Greater Carroll Lions Club coming on by. And I think somebody knows me. Oh. Well, blowing bubbles out the side of the truck right there.
There you go.
Yeah, who is that's the Westminster Lions Club.
That's correct.
Yes, sir, Stemmy. The truck and the banner led by Lion Wendy Beers and Lion Bob Corsi. Who in the truck's blowing the bubbles? I don't know. But there they are, where they have their trailer float coming on by. And more bubbles. You can never get enough bubbles.
You'll never be able to pop all them, I can tell you that.
Well. Oh, look at this coming along. A couple of oldies but goodies.
That's the old Deer Park Lions.
There you go, Stemmy, absolutely. Who do we have there?
I'm not sure about that.
Let's see, I have Ron Kaczynski, Bob Nelson, Grace Lebo, Dave Hopkins, Trudy Winter, Marlene Ginau, and Judy Geifels.
There you go.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah. The 3 cars for the Deer Park Lions Club, which is on the way, an old 19 whatever. Now, Stemmy, I don't want to give away your age or anything, but do you know the age? Do you know what year, what model this vehicle is right here?
I would say somewhere
what is it, 30?
around the 29 area, somewhere in that area.
Well, there they are. That's car one. And there they are waving and saying hello to us and to all of you out there right here on CMC. And, oh, look at that beautiful 65 Mustang. Oh, there you go.
Hey, blowing that horn for us. That wasn't a Mustang either.
No, you're right. I don't think they have those kind of horns. But here comes that beautiful Mustang. Oh, my. There you go. From Deer Park, there they go. And again, Ron Kaczynski, Bob Nelson, Grace Lebo,
Adrian,
Dave Hopkins, Trudy Winter, Marlene Ginnow, and Judy Geilfuss. So as they come by and I have a break in the action here, it's time for me to, I guess, shall we hit the road up to the cemetery, gentlemen? I say so.
Okay,
all right,
Bruce.
I'm Bruce Main. Thank you all so very much for being with me right now. I turn it over to Richard Stem. Stemmy, it's all yours, and I'll see you at the sermon at the Mount Adrian Gamboa, my personal chauffeur, ready to race me up there right now. Have a good one, Stemmy. Nice working with you again.
Same here, Bruce. Be careful going up the road because Adrian's known to fly a little bit. So, and now we have the Taylorsville Winfield Lions Club with their float here. All these folks got their floats up decorated nice. The Historical Society of Carroll County. As we say goodbye to Bruce, he's been doing a wonderful job for us. Listen to him on WTTR in the mornings. He's on there till about 9 o'clock. It's about 6 to 9. Bruce does a wonderful job on there. And the Women's Club of Westminster, Co-Vice President Lynn Wheeler. This is the Women's Club of Westminster again, the past president, Linda Whitner. And then we have a U.S. Army Jeep pulling a trailer with some folks in it. Now we have the Jeeps Club coming up. Got some pretty Jeeps here. They usually go into parade every year. They usually go into Halloween parade every year. So we're getting back in order here, and everybody's starting to come out and watch these parades and participate again, which is a great thing for us to be having again. Some nice looking Jeeps here. A whole pile of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7, 8 of them right now. Let's see. Some of them decorated really nice. Some of them look really nice without the decorations. So, I see another one. That's 9. They're coming on down. I think we got like, I lost count there, I think. I think there's like 10 or 15 of them in here. All looking pretty good. Some nice looking vehicles there. Yes, sir. There's some nice vehicles there, and there's a lot of these Jeeps here. Here comes one with a dog sitting in the front seat. She's got him by the paw. He's waving, I guess, now to us. So we'll say hi to him as the bird flew under the tent here. So we've still got Jeeps coming. These Jeeps are from everywhere. Rocky Ridge, Ocean City, Westminster. I can't even remember where some of them were from. They're all decorated very nice as we wave to some of them here. There's some more Jeeps, and they're blowing their horn at us here. I might be over that. It might be close to 20 of them here. There's a lot of Jeeps here. There goes Lieutenant Dan and his Jeep. So they are still coming down the road. Quite a few of them. Don't forget to go up to the cemetery and listen to the ceremony on the hill. Bruce will be monitoring that, and we have a guest speaker up there also. She'll be doing a speech up there. So as soon as the parade's over, they won't start till the parade's completely over. And then you can go ahead and see what's going on up there. We're still with the Jeeps. We got a lot of them. I might be right now. Might be like 20 of them. So they're still coming. Some of them's got some nice wheels on them too. Cost a couple dollars, I'm sure. There goes the Mojito. Yeah, it's a pretty nice presentation going to be up at the cemetery. So if you want to get up there and see some of that, I would definitely think you need to go up there. There come some Jeeps now that look like they go out in the mud, and they're mudders, I guess. They're really, really noisy. Noisy, and they're a little bit dirty. I guess they couldn't clean them all the way completely up. So okay, we'll let them go by. A little noisy here. Free State Corvette Club. They're behind these guys. So they're down there. Here comes a whole bunch of Corvettes, and I'm not really sure how many's in there. We'll have to count them maybe. It looks like, says like 15 vehicles are going to be in this here. The Free State Corvette Club, led by John Wayne Dunaway. If time permits, Craig Steinbach is the club president. So here they come. All kinds of Corvettes here. Pretty looking ones. Different colors. So oh, they're revving up for us and showing us what they can do. I don't think any of them's going to do any wheelies out of here, though. They certainly do look nice. Cleaned up real nice. So we're going to see 15 of these, all cleaned up and sparkling and decorated. And here comes a gentleman here. He's got his Uncle Sam hat on in his Corvette. Yep, he's got his glasses on too. He's Star Spangled Banner. Here comes a Corvette. It's got boots on the hood. So remembering our veterans. A lot of Corvettes here, a lot of Corvettes. So there comes a white one all decorated up, really looks really sharp. So hey, they're revving up down there. I guess in this kind of weather it's a little rough on the engines on these things. A little warm outside, and the engine gets warm, and they got to rev them up a little bit, I guess, to get a little action in the engine compartment there. So a lot of Corvettes here. There's one that says it purrs. Still with the Corvettes passing us here. Oh, that's no fair. She's got her air conditioner on in there. Everybody else has got their windows open and the top's halfway down or whatever. So behind the Corvettes here, we should have Expedient Towing and Auto Repair. And it's led by Mr. Chuck Berry. He's the gentleman that owns it. If I'm not mistaken, they're in the Manchester area. So, but he does do towing out of here. If you need him, you can get a hold of them. Expedient Towing and Auto Repair. So you might want to catch them if you got a problem. I think he just restored this tow vehicle or a flatbed, whatever. I think it's a flatbed. He just restored this, so it's looking good. I'm sure he wanted to get it in the parade so everybody could see it. So this woman here's got a little puppet out of her Corvette. So Expedient Towing. See who's driving if I know that gentleman. That is Chuck Berry in there. He's the owner of the company. Like I said, he just restored that, so it's looking pretty good. Now we have this Carroll County organization. These are girls from Carroll County, led by Shauna Kumar, Miss Westminster, Rachel Spencer, Miss Carroll County's teen. Maria Doricia, sorry if I pronounce these names wrong, Miss Mount Airy, and Leslie Speller, Miss Mount Airy's teen. There they are. Miss Baltimore County teens right there. So, nice. Now we have the Kiwanis Club of Westminster. This led by Kim Dennis and Arthur Raleigh, past international president. They're marching in the parade here. And here we got some more Kiwanis Club. Salute the veterans. That's what we need to do. Just remember our veterans, no matter where they are or have been, and all the ones that didn't make it here today. So we appreciate that. You folks coming out and honoring them. There comes the Boomy Shriners Haunted House Group. And they got some Boomy Shriners. They're riding on a little, I would imagine they're golf carts. Primary mission to support the Shriner Hospital for Children. They do a lot. They're like St. Jude. St. Jude and them do sponsoring of different groups. And we even have one riding a horse right there. Horse looks like it's pretty calm. Another motorcycle with them, looking good. There comes their Boomai vehicle for the Shriners Hospital for Children. We need to help those folks out. If we get a chance, give a donation to them to help them out. Some motorcyclists coming here. They're Bikers for a Cause. Maryland Chapter 6 nonprofit charity with 20 marchers and 10 motorcycles led by Scott Dixon, President, Maryland Chapter 6. These folks meet at the American Legion Post. Excuse me. American Legion Post once a month. So they meet up in the lodge. They do a lot for the community, and they do a lot for the American Legion to help us out. Behind them will be the Westminster Volunteer Fire Department. And it says it's led by Kenny Carlisle. The bikers now are starting to rev up a little bit. They're going out again. There they go. Here comes the Westminster Fire Department. Their newest engine, engine 32, coming down the street right now. So behind that, they have their Tower 3. Engine 32 there. It's one of their first line fire engines. And the Tower 3 is coming up. Tower 3 is I could be mistaken, I think it's a 100-foot aerial device. can see it running up and down the road in Westminster and other neighboring communities. It goes at a mutual aid a lot. So there they are, Tower 3. It's an E1. Fairly new. I'm not sure the age. I don't want to give that out because I really don't know. But I know it's fairly new. Coming behind that is one of their utility vehicles. Okay. So they do that with chase cars. They do a lot of first responders and all with that. And behind them, we have the Reese Volunteer Fire Department. Okay, they have a utility vehicle, the chief's vehicle, one engine, a small bus, and it's all put together by Linda Bowen. There they are. Some gave the Recent Community Volunteer Fire Company. This is their junior group. The bus that's coming up was purchased recently and was donated by Dale Barnes, and it was all printed up and got all the things on it, so there it is. They use that for their groups, hauling around the firefighters. I guess they do canteen service with that. So Brush 9-5 there coming up now out of the Reese Volunteer Fire Department. Behind them, they have their Medic 99. I don't think this is their newest one. Their newest one is Medic 98. They have 2 Medic units down there. Just like Westminster has 3 Medic units in our division up here. So, honoring America's bravest. 9/11, 2001. We'll never forget that. Engine 91 right behind them. So, behind them, we have the 29th MP Company, Westminster, Maryland Army National Guard, paying respect to our fallen heroes. And the last vehicle in the parade here is the Westminster City Police. City Police have numerous vehicles. They run around town here and keep things under control. Looking good there, boys. Well, it's about time. We're almost going to sign off here. Again, don't forget to come up to the cemetery to see here the sermon up on the mount. It's going to be a nice thing. We won't start it till the last vehicle gets up there in the parade. So if you want to come on up there and see us, we'd definitely love to have you. So, again, been a nice day, nice parade, a lot of folks here. Been a pleasure working with Bruce Maine. Been a pleasure working with the American Legion Post 31, which is a group that we all try to be team players. I enjoy working with them. I enjoy being the commander there, and I sure do hope you folks can stop by and see us sometime. If a veteran you haven't joined, come on in. We'll get you an application for the men or the ladies, and they're at the bar. Also, we do flags on cemetery graves for deceased veterans right around the Memorial Day holidays. We went out Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and put flags on the deceased veterans' graves. It's a nice event. I like doing that every year. So, other than that, I see the folks are starting to disperse here because before long we'll have the people coming back out. Here another motorcycle starting up over there. It's leaving. But again, it's been my pleasure to do this again this year with Bruce. And hopefully I think we're going to be signing off here in a minute. So again, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Veterans Day and Memorial Day. And please be safe while you're out there.
Smiling upon us very, very nicely, and we are getting ready to get underway with our Sermon at the Mount on this Memorial Day 2023. Hi, everybody. I'm Bruce Main. I'm proud, pleased, and privileged again to be part of this wonderful ceremony, a ceremony of a solemn occasion, sad occasion, but a reflective and in some respects a celebrative occasion as we celebrate the lives and remember the lives of those men and women who, over hundreds of years, dedicated, served, put their lives on the line, and gave the ultimate sacrifice so that to this very day we can enjoy the freedoms and the liberties that we have in our nation. It's not all about cookouts, department store sales, having friends and family over. That's all well and good. But without the basis of what this day is all about, that would not even be closely possible. No other nation I can think of in our world, on this planet, can boast and can celebrate and can honestly say with a conviction that they come close to what we have in our United States of America. Divisions notwithstanding, this is still, thanks to our veterans, the ones who did give up the ultimate sacrifice, made the ultimate sacrifice to make this all possible for all of this time and for a long, long time to come. As we do honor our war dead and those who did give up their lives for us, I do want to take a moment to mention one other group. It's called the Empty Table. And the empty table is symbolic of those who are still unaccounted for to this very day. We shall not forget. Let's keep them and their families in our prayers for someday to have a closure for our missing in action. We shall not forget ever what they have meant to our heritage, our history, to this day. As the parade now starts to conclude, I also want to thank our friends at CMC for being here with us this morning. Gentlemen, thank you so very much. And now, to start our celebration, but yet our very somber and very important, our invocation this morning. And the invocation is done by Reverend Mark S. Bilek, Father Mark of St. John's Catholic Church, as we begin this very beautiful celebration. Father Mark.
It's an honor to be with you. As we begin our time of remembrance, let us bow our heads in prayer. Gracious God, on this Memorial Day, we pray for those who courageously laid down their lives for the cause of freedom. May the examples of their sacrifice inspire in us the selfless love that you have always demonstrated towards your sons and daughters. We ask you to bless the families of our fallen troops and fill their homes and their lives with your strength and with your peace. In union with people of goodwill of every nation, embolden us to answer the call to work for peace and justice, and thus seek an end to violence and conflict around the globe. We ask your blessing upon this holy ground. We ask your blessing upon this dedication and this Memorial Day observance. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Father Mark. there are two anthems, of course, our Star-Spangled Banner, but another anthem that a lot of people thought should have been maybe our national anthem. I consider it National Anthem Part 2. At this time, I want to welcome to sing America the Beautiful, Miss Abby Atradovec. Let's make a revision here. We'll take two. My country, 'tis of thee. Abby Atradovec, the stage is yours.
And the bands. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountain side, let freedom ring.
Very well done. My country, 'tis of thee. Okay, there you go, Abby Atradovec. Of all speeches made over the years, of all of the trying to galvanize a nation that was fractured during the 1860s, the war between the states, one visionary had one very high vision speech. It wasn't the longest speech in American history, but nonetheless, it drove the point home with a sledgehammer. I'm talking about Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, telling it like it was, what should have been and what could have been and what was going to be. To do Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, let's welcome the chaplain of Carroll Post 31 of the American Legion and our Westminster Fire Department. Let's welcome City Councilman Kevin Dayhoff.
Thank you. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot consecrate, we cannot dedicate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that those honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Thank you.
Words so true to this very day. There are speeches that are timeless and very priceless. That's one of them. I want to take this moment to also greet and meet and to welcome and to thank our Westminster Municipal Band on hand here. Again, with our Sermon at the Mount, Sandy, Dave Miller, thank you for all you do with the Westminster Municipal Band. And now, as is traditional with this beautiful occasion, the placing of the city wreath, I want to welcome the Honorable Mayor of our city of Westminster, Dr. Mona Becker, and Chief of Police, Thomas Ledwell, to place the city wreath.
That's okay. Can I say a few words?
You sure can.
Bet I can.
Well, Mayor Becker, the Honorable Mayor Becker, is going to tell us exactly who we have to place the city wreath.
Sorry. Lieutenant Reif will be joining me today to place the city wreath. I just wanted to take a minute and welcome everyone to Westminster. I'm incredibly honored to take part in this ceremony today that began 156 years ago when Mary Shellman started the first parade in Westminster. It's a solemn occasion when we reflect on the tremendous price of freedom and the extraordinary courage that was displayed by husbands and wives, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, and we owe it to them to build a future worthy of their sacrifice. On this Memorial Day, as we honor those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in upholding the ideals of democracy, let us also support the families left behind, those Gold Star families who bear the burden of loss and the ache of absence. As we enjoyed the freedom and opportunities afforded to us, let us never forget those who stood strong and served their country till the very end. I'd like to welcome Lieutenant Reif, who will place the wreath from the Westminster Police Department, and just thank you for the opportunity to place the wreath from the City of Westminster.
I have learned over the years, sometimes you don't necessarily have to go by a script. What you do sometimes on spontaneity is still in good spirit and with good friends and making it happen. Thank you, Mayor Becker, Dr. Mona Becker. All right, looks like now we have more of the crowd coming up from the parade route with this beautiful day for our Sermon at the Mount. With the placing of the wreath, now our Memorial Day address with a very special guest. I want to tell you about this remarkable lady. Her name is Brigadier General Janine L. Burkhead. I hope so. Currently serving as the 31st Adjutant General of the Maryland National Guard. In the capacity, Brigadier General Burkhead serves as an advisor to our governor here in the state of Maryland, responsible for leading a force of over 6,300 soldiers, airmen, federal and state employees, responsible for providing a relevant and capable force ready to fight, protect, defend, prevail against all threats in a multi-domain environment. That is no small order. Brigadier General Burkhead most recently served as the commander of the Maryland Army National Guard, wore many hats in her duties, dual-hatted as the Deputy Commandant for Reserve Affairs at the U.S. Army War College. Prior to the role of Adjutant General, Brigadier General Burkhead also served as the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Maryland National Guard. She is commanded at the company, battalion, and brigade level. And that's quite a tall order. In 2004, she mobilized under OEF and OIF, serving as the Tiger Team leader and designated military officer for the Office of Administrative Review for the Detention of Enemy Combatants. In 2011, Brigadier General Burkhead deployed as the Deputy Current Operations Security Partnering and International Security Assistance Force in Kabul, Afghanistan. Brigadier General Burkhead's military decorations, and there are so many, well deserved. The Legion of Merit, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, also the Air Force Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Army Reserve Components Achievement Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Armed Forces Reserve Medal, NATO Medal, Overseas Service Ribbon, Army Reserve Components Overseas Training Ribbon, and Afghanistan Campaign Medal. How decorated is that? Very well done. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and my honor. Let's give a warm welcome to Brigadier General Janine L. Burkhead, Adjutant General of the Maryland National Guard.
Move this just a little bit.
I can fix that even better.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you. So glad to be here with you all today. Council members, mayor, citizens. Once, for the American tradition known as Decoration Day, families used this day as winter's fading to remember loved ones who had died. You can imagine that as they gathered to decorate grave sites, they laughed and cried and told stories of their relatives, what they cared about and what they remembered them for. Today, that tradition has evolved into Memorial Day. Families and fallen service members today still laugh and cry and tell stories, and we, for whom they serve, gather in remembrance and hope. Remembrance of their service and their sacrifice, and hope that we will not have to do this again, or that their loss is in vain. In the Maryland National Guard, the tradition of service and sacrifice dates back to the very founding of our country. We remember the Maryland 400 and the sacrifice they made at the Battle of Long Island in 1776. As the American Army retreated with the British close behind, about 400 battle-weary Maryland and Delaware soldiers stayed behind to serve as a rear guard. As 2,000 British and Hessian soldiers surrounded them, the Maryland 400 did the unexpected. They charged the enemy with fixed bayonets. Then they did it a second time, and then a third time, and then a fourth. When the fighting was over, 256 of them lay dead on the ground, and more than 100 were captured, many of whom would die as prisoners of war. Only a few of the Maryland few hundred escaped alive. But their sacrifice bought what General George Washington later recalled an hour precious to American liberty than any other. As the Continental Army escaped to fight another day, these men, along with thousands others, left the comfort of their homes to serve a great cause, to risk all for freedom. These patriots set the stage for future acts of courage and sacrifice by their successors. Again and again, Marylanders answered the call in the nation's darkest hour. At the Battle of North Point in 1814, at the Meuse-Argonne in 1918, D-Day, Omaha Beach, June 1944, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Kosovo, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Sinai, Djibouti, Senegal. Your fellow Americans answer the call during hurricanes. This is just to name a few. Today, Americans enjoy the blessings of our nation and our way of life. These blessings are protected by our service members in uniform, standing lonely watch on far and distant lands. And when necessary, standing fast against the forces of fear and tyranny. That hasn't changed. It must not change. This will not change. Our Maryland National Guard members continue to defend America and the freedom we so enjoy. In recent years, the Maryland National Guard deployed its men and women around the world and are deployed today. As commander of the Maryland National Guard, I am proud to serve with citizen soldiers and airmen committed to fighting the Americans' war and protecting our homeland. The National Guard members play a vital role in both federal and local response. We have a unique mission, meeting the governor's request here at home, as you've seen us do many times recently, while still deploying overseas in our federal mission. As a result of our commitment to our country, we are an organization who have demonstrated versatility, resiliency, and the ability to adapt. We embody the true spirit of community and country. It is always difficult to see our families separated during deployments and duty. But what a joyous occasion when they reunite. We must never forget the latest generation of American patriots standing watch for freedom on far frontiers. Sadly, as this day so starkly illustrates, many of these service members, these patriots, are not fortunate and will never return. Today, we have 12 names scribed on a monument at Camp Goddard, right down the street, dedicated to our fallen 9/11 veterans. At the 5th Regiment Armory in Baltimore, there are plaques with names scribed with the fallen. And the same holds true for cities and towns across Maryland. These are more than just names. These are our friends, our fathers, our sisters, our wives, our husbands. We pay homage to our nation's fallen service members, and let us reaffirm our national commitment to keeping the torch of freedom burning. Let us honor the memory of the men and women who gave all. Think of the values that led them to lay down their lives, values like loyalty and selfless service. When our uniformed service members make the ultimate sacrifice, they do so with hope. Hope that their sacrifice will make a difference. Hope that the effort, this mission, this time, will bring us closer to peace. Hope that their actions will hold meaning for their family and their neighbors and their fellow loved ones. When we gather today here and across the nation, I ask that we remember and respect and share that same hope. This little red poppy has become the fallen service member symbol of both remembrance and hope. During the endless and horrific trench warfare of World War I, there was once a farmer's field, and it was devastated and riddled with bombs and automatic weapons. But through these battle-scarred fields, this little poppy grew. A Canadian military doctor in the front line was struck by this pop of red, by this pop of life. And I am certain many of you know the poem by the doctor penned in memory of a lost friend. So, in Flanders Field, the poppies blow, between the crosses row and row, that mark our place and in the sky, the larks go bravely singing fly, scarce heard amidst the guns below. John McCrae ends with a plea to honor their service and their sacrifice. To you, from hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If we break faith with ye who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field. I had to memorize that when I was Buddy Poppy Queen about 20, 30 years ago. So today we remember that we live in peace and security because we brave men and women who lived, loved, and died for our future. Some of these heroes may have known personally, which makes this day rich with significance. Today, the American flag flies at half-staff while the graves of our armed forces members are marked with flags and flowers. Let us never forget. In closing, thank you for your presence and taking time to come out today and honor those veterans. Thank you, American Legion, for having me here today. For over 91 years, you have performed this service. The American Legion Carroll Post 31 has remembered the fallen. I also want to recognize that this parade is the longest parade in history in this country, 156 years. Yes, it is. I salute your efforts, Westminster, American Legion, Carroll Post 31 community, for doing what you do. May God bless the United States of America and the state of Maryland. I salute you. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for your service and a very, very well done presentation. Brigadier General Janine L. Burkhead. Now for our benediction. Again, let's welcome back Chaplain of Carroll Post 31 of our American Legion, Kevin Dayhoff.
Let's bow our heads for a moment and share a moment of reflection and remembrance. Dear God, as we depart to go on our separate ways, we ask your blessing for our great nation. Grant us strength and courage to carry on in service to our God, our community, and to our country. Challenge us by the example to honor our veterans, both living and departed, each and every day. Be with the leaders of our great community and with those who represent us in state and federal government. Let us go forth into the world in peace and dedicated to your service, O God. Let us hold fast to that which is good, render to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the needy and afflicted, and honor all people. Bless our veterans who lie in sickness and in poor health. Grant them comfort and knowledge that they are not forgotten. Bless the families of those whose loved ones have made the ultimate sacrifice for our great nation. Let us love and serve everyone in our community, rejoicing in the power of the Spirit. May God's blessing be upon us and remain with us always. Amen. Thank you.
And now, this I'm sure of. The singing and the joining in of our national anthem. Gentlemen, would you please remove your hats? Again, let's welcome back for our Star-Spangled Banner, Abby Atronovec.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
heard a lot of people sing that anthem over the years. Some good, some not so good. But I have to tell you, Abby, as always, great job. Fantastic job. Abby Atradovec. And now let's welcome from the VFW Mobile Farm Post 467, we have the firing squad, the ceremonial firing squad. And we have the Westminster Municipal Band. Very well done. Our taps by Greg Lance, David Miller with the echo. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I want to thank our Memorial Day Committee for putting this together, bringing this to you, and for making this the occasion that we can all cherish and remember, and also never forget those in our hearts and our minds who did give the ultimate sacrifice. I want to thank Adrian Gamboa, General Chairman, Tony Tanner, Assistant Chairman, Lieutenant Colonel Roland Hollingsworth, of course, our Parade Marshal, and so many others, Richard Stem, our Post Commander, Carroll Post 31. I want to thank you all so very much for making this a part of your Memorial Day. Never forget, always remember, take a piece of every day to make it a Memorial Day. How about that? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And thank all of you and our friends at CMC. I'm Bruce Main. Until we meet again, happy Memorial Day. Never forget, always remember, always cherish and honor. Thank you.